Hey, 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 out there, everybody. I am super thrilled that you are here. Thank you so much. Uh, wow. Yeah. Hey, yes, this is an exciting topic. I agree. So let's go ahead and get started because I know we've got the recorded session going on and just super thrilled that all of you are here. So today I want to talk to you about something that's very important. We're getting ready to plan out the year, right? To crush it for maximum success and all the things that we want in life. And so we got to talk first about who you must become if you want to close 20 deals. All right, because your identity determines your actions. Now, so for those of you that haven't met, my bio is not the purpose of this presentation. I'll simply tell you really quickly. My name is Josh Boyd, along with my wife Rachel. We are real estate investors. We're licensed real estate agents with Real Broker, and we've been able to do some pretty amazing, pretty exciting things over the last 3 years. Today is a topic that we're talking about, and I want to be very clear. We're talking about this because mentors paved the way for us. The system that we're kind of talking and the things that we're sharing is what our mentors and our coaches taught us. And shout out to TJ McGraw, who is a part of the call and hosts an amazing group called the Hive Live, which is a whole bunch of us agents that get together for training just like this. In fact, most of the people on this call are all with the Hive Live. So if you're with the Hive or you're a guest of the Hive, I just want to say thank you and welcome to the meeting. So let's get right into it. Look, today is not about tactics. It's not about scripts. It's not about the market. Today is about identity because here's the truth. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall down to the level of which you believe that you are. 20 deals is not a number problem. It's an identity problem. And once you become the agent who closes 20 deals, the actions take care of themselves. So today we're going to talk to you about what I call the art of becoming, the art of becoming. So, and it's okay to say, I'm not there today, but this is where I'm headed. So let's get right into it. Your identity matters greatly. I am who I think I am. Now, that's not saying be a fraud or anything like that. You never go out in the public and claim to be to claim to have accomplished something that you haven't accomplished. But I learned at the very beginning, if someone were to ask me, "Are you a successful real estate agent?" The answer is yes. Which, by the way, if you've even closed a single deal in 2025, you fared far greater than hundreds, if not thousands, of agents all across the United States. That was a hard year for so many people. And if you're still here, you made it. So the reality of it is you are more successful than a lot of people. If you got started in 2025, that's amazing. Or maybe you've been a high performing agent who trickled down in 2025 and you're ready to shoot back up in production. Then think about your identity, the way you look when you go out into public. So most agents never become great because they never see themselves as great. You can't become something that you don't see yourself as. So they play small, they hedge their confidence, they act like beginners, even when they're not. And identity, it's like it's one of those things where they identify as someone who can't, therefore they don't. Your identity always comes first. If you want to be a leader, it starts with leading. If you want to get in production, it starts by saying, I am a producer and I will do producing things. How you see yourself, it determines how you speak, how you post, it determines how you follow up, right? And how you handle rejection. If you can change your identity, a lot of the other stuff will just change automatically. And I think that's important. Why do I follow up? I follow up because I'm a high performing agent. Why do I handle rejection well? Because that's what high performing agents do. See, a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but there's this thing called the identity ceiling. And most agents never break through it because they don't see themselves identity. It's an invisible ceiling and it's not set by the market. It's not interest rates that hold them back. It's not inventory that holds them back. Pure out and frankly, it's self-image. If you see yourself as a struggling agent, you're going to act like one. If you see yourself as a professional, a leader, a wealth builder, your behavior upgrades. So you don't break ceilings with hustle. I want to point that out there. Let's say you're out there and you're a hustler, but you hustle doing all the wrong things that you won't be successful. If you hustle on the investor side, one of my wealth coaches says this, if you hustle to do more broke things, you're just going to end up more broke. That's an important thing that we have to distinguish. So, hustle alone doesn't get you to where you need to be. If you want to think about less about hustle and you can break through with identity. So, I put this model up there. Thoughts lead to your identity, which lead to your action, and that is the results cycle. Notice I want to point in here, though, that your thoughts come first. So, I want to pause a second before I get to the next slide. If you are honest, what is it that you think about yourself? Let me ask you this question. Do you deserve to be successful? Like, that's a serious question, friends. Do you think that you deserve to be successful? Do you think you deserve to be happy? Um, I could keep going down this line. Do you believe that you deserve a great family? Do you deserve people that love you? Do you deserve kindness? I answer yes to all these for you, but I have met people who, if they were extremely honest with themselves, they give themselves a no. And I want to challenge you, if that's you, to start there. So, kind of putting this out there for you, all right? When I got my license, there was no magic fairy dust that fell on my head. And that's what a lot of agents think. They think their broker or some team leader is going to walk in and put the pixie fairy dust on them and they're going to fly, fly, fly away into success. The reality is when I got licensed, I wasn't confident. I definitely wasn't established. Quite frankly, I was begging people to give me a shot. Like, I shouldn't admit that. These days, I would never beg. But initially, that's what I did. I sounded like someone who was asking for permission to be successful. And then one day, one of my coaches stopped me and they said it like this: Do you know who you are becoming? That question changed everything. Do I know who I'm becoming? In other words, at the moment, I was so focused on where I was that I hadn't even considered what I was becoming. And then the coach reached down and said, from here on out, you have to identify with what you are becoming. Now, I'm a person of faith, so I'll put this in a religious standpoint, but I'm very thankful as a Christian that God asked me to identify with where I'm going, not where I'm at. That's an extreme. He saw something in me that was greater than myself. He didn't see me for the sin. He saw me for what I could be. So I do believe, from a standpoint, I get a little preachy on this, but I do think that that's biblical. Now, this isn't a Christian-oriented thing we're doing today, but I do want to point out that that principle, it matters. It matters greatly. So my coach didn't tell me to fake it. He didn't tell me to lie. He said, "You are becoming a millionaire investor. You are becoming a mega team leader. So start acting like it, dress like it, speak with humility, certainty, and clarity, post with intention, serve people at a higher level." I'm not asking you to pretend, I'm asking you to prepare. Now, I pause right there because I think that's pretty significant. A lot of people say that's pretending. No, 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 that's preparing. That's preparing. Never ask me to tell somebody something that wasn't true. Notice that those things are inward. If you want to be successful in this year that we have in this next cycle, let me ask you this. What do you see yourself as? Are you becoming something that you want to become? Then speak like it, become it, post like it, serve people like that. How better off would our clients be, and how much more business would you have if you serve people like the leader that you want to become in the industry? This is one of my favorite quotes by Tony Robbins. The only thing that keeps you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. I tell myself now that I am successful. I tell myself, I get in front of a crowd and I speak it because I believe it. So when you help people who are successful, you become associated with success. So I want to pause. How do you change other people's perception of you? What can you give to the community of successful people? Can you go find somebody that you believe is successful? Maybe they're someone else's client. I'm not asking you to take their business, but could you spend time with them? Because success tends to have successful people revolving around it. And initially, we all have to get around the person and to learn to pick up on those principles. That's why I spend so much time with my coaches. I started spending more time with mega agents. I spend time today with mega agents in our brokerage, a couple that I know outside of our brokerage. And I stop acting like I need them and I start just trying to add value to them. It's not about what I need from them, it's about what can I give to them. And when you do it, something crazy powerful happens. People trust other people who are near success. Authority isn't claimed, it's perceived. I want to point that out there. Maybe you've lost that deal to that other agent who was not as prepared as you, who was not on top of it as you were, who was not any of those things that you were, but you forgot this teaching point. People's belief in authority. Authority is not claimed, it's perceived. The other person had the perception of authority. So I read a book by Scott Alexander called Rhinoceros Success. And if you've been around me long enough, you know that I love this book, right? It is everything. I'm all about becoming a rhino. I highly suggest you all read it. The Audible version, where Scott Alexander narrates it himself, in my opinion, is the absolute best. But in there, it talks about becoming a rhinoceros, and it's hilarious. But here are some things that he mentions. The first one is that business will test you. Rejection, silence, unreturned calls. And that's when the thin-skinned hyenas, they quit. They quit. But rhinos, what does a rhino do? It's got 3-inch thick skin. It's going to charge straight forward. By the way, the rhinos don't back up. There's no protection on the butt. They charge forward. It doesn't take rejection personally. Rhinos don't take rejection personally. They got thick skin, right? They don't care about rejection. When a rhino charges forward, it doesn't turn its head. It locks its eyes forward because that's where its protection, right? That's where its the tusk is or whatever. And it charges straight forward because it's got clarity of direction and clarity of purpose. And it knows exactly where it is going. Clarity of purpose. If you want 20 deals, it's time to build thick rhino skin. It's time to have rhino clarity of purpose. You've got to become something and you can't tiptoe towards it. And that's the next thing too, is I see a lot of people that want to tiptoe towards their goals. You can't tiptoe towards success. You got to run at it. You got to run straight for it. So think about this. I want you to reframe your fear of rejection. Number one, rejection is not personal. It's informational. I have no issue when I get a stop sending me this text message. I respect what they asked me to do. I stop sending that message to them and information to them to respect their time and free up my time to send it to someone else. They're informing me so that I can be informed. It's not personal, which, by the way, most of the time when I send the same message, I don't know who's on the other side. It's not personal. I just don't want their information right now. So I say, please stop. It's not that serious. But a lot of people get hung up on the follow up and the calls because they take it so personal. Every no is going to point you to a yes. Frankly, if there's anything I've learned from real estate investing, people are like, how are you finding all these houses at a good deal? You must be super secret. No, I just keep making phone calls. You have no idea the 200 no's I got before I got to that one yes where somebody sold me that house 65% undervalue. I went through 200 no's to get to the yes. And I know that every time I get to a no, I'm getting a little closer to that yes. So this is kind of hard to hear, but if rejection controls you, you're always going to stay small. Isn't that true for your dating life too? For those of you that are married like me, think about that. She finally said yes, or he finally said yes. They finally opened up the door for you. Uh, but at some point, you had to keep trying. Business is the same way. When rejection becomes data, you become unstoppable. And that's something else for me. When I get rejected, I pay attention, especially if they give me some feedback that's personal. I need to hear it. But rejection is data. I hear it, I learn from it, and I charge forward with clarity of purpose. It's that simple. So for a lot of you talking about becoming the next best version of yourself, I want you to think about charging forward with clarity and purpose. The next thing I want to talk about is the six barriers that are going to hold agents back this year if they're not careful. Don't let these things hold you back. Most underperforming agents and most underperforming real estate investors are all dealing with the same issues. They think it's just them. Oh, whoa, it's me. It's not. It's the same issues. Not enough leads, fear of rejection, no systems, which those three cause burnout. Burnout causes isolation. Then you start waiting for someone else to do hard things. And then at that point, you're like in full shutdown mode. So think about that. Not enough leads, fear of rejection, no systems that cause burnout, feels isolated, and then you're waiting on others to do the hard things. Can we just point out something? I want you to kind of pick up on this. None of those are talent issues. They're identity problems. Again, none of those are talent issues. Your issue is not that you're not talented. The issue is that you don't have the identity of a successful investor or a successful real estate agent. These are the things that we spend a lot of time on with our team at Real Broker. We want our agents to have enough leads. So we have all kinds of teaching. We can teach you a three-pillar plan to solve that problem. All right. No systems. Look, this may surprise you, but a lot of people are trying to do more. I want you to consider doing less this next year, but being really good at what you do and having the developed systems. We rise and fall according to the level of our systems. Burnout. People feel burnout when they don't have systems in place and now they get overloaded. And if they're trying to do so much, they have no time for family and friends, which leads to isolation. And then eventually they can't do it unless somebody else does it for them. That's one of the things I know with our brokerage taught me. And maybe if you're listening to this, you're not from our brokerage, maybe your brokerage taught you too. But I learned that to be successful, to have peace in life, and to be happy, it's not always about more, more, and more. It's about clarity, concise, and going somewhere together. Isolation. That's the one that I think can really get the highly efficient agents if they're not careful. So, the chase pillar. Now, we're going to do more teachings on the chase pillar later, and we're going to talk about a three-pillar plan. But for now, the chase pillar, these are people that you don't know, they're not in your sphere of influence, and you're trying to get out and chase them down, get to know them, build relationships with them. Here's the thing I want to challenge you to do this year is quit being the jack of all trades. I want you to master something. All right. You don't wait for 20 leads to come to you. You don't wait for 20 deals. You go chase them. You go find them. You go to them. Um, Chasing does not mean chaos. That was me my first year in real estate. Chaos, man. Trying to do it all, and I mastered none. So now I'm in the investor space. I know exactly who I am and what I'm here to do. I help investors build million, if not multi-million dollar portfolios. That's what I do. Maybe you're not an investor, and I'm not here to teach that to you. That's something else, or preach that to you. You don't have to be. Uh, Most of the agents that I know are not working with investors. They're on social media, or they have a great sphere of influence, or they like doing events, or they like doing probate, or they like working with the tax liens. It doesn't matter. The point is pick a lane, maybe two, and be really good at it. I want you to focus. That's the mindset for this year in becoming who you're meant to be. I want you to focus on your business and on your relationships and your marriage and your family and your church and being involved in the community. Those are the things that matter. Choose one or two and work towards mastery. And I don't want you to do it for a month, not for 90 days. How would your business be different if you did it for a whole year, 365 days? It might change everything. See, here's where most agents fail. They switch lanes too fast. They chase all the shiny objects. They quit before the momentum ever shows up because mastery takes time. Confidence is going to come from repetition. So pick your lane, stay in it, and let consistency compound. And there's many different lanes. These are just a few. There's way more than this, These are just some of the ones that I mentioned. I want to point out here too, my friend Robert Birch. I asked him one time, what is your thing? Because Roberts has such a successful business with Real, and what Robert said is my reputation. My reputation matters to me, and I guard it. First off, I wrote that down when I got home because that changed me. Like I need to pay attention to my reputation. But that's his lane. He's focused on building his reputation. When other folks are working on building a brand, Robert has the mindset of building a reputation of integrity. That speaks to me. So that's just a different way of saying the same thing, but I had to throw that out there. So Tony Robbins says it like this: where focus goes, energy flows. Again, where focus goes, energy flows. Focus creates skill. Skill creates confidence. Confidence creates conversations. And 20 deals isn't luck, it's focus. Remember, friends, all conversion happens as a result of conversation. So if you can focus to create skills, skills create confidence, confidence creates conversations, conversations will always lead to conversions. All right. But you got to focus on you first. I'm always amazed at how many people forget the idea of becoming before they start. Mastery is identity plus discipline. Mastery is identity plus discipline. That's how you get there. So be who you say you're becoming. This is so important. Your social media is your identity billboard. All right. Post like the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. That's a mindset shift that a lot of us need to take today. Focus on who you're becoming, not who you used to be. Be professional, helpful, confident, consistent. Never lie, never exaggerate, but always show growth. People hire the version of you that they see, not they don't hire the version of you that's on the inside of you. They don't know that version. They hire the version of you that they see. So don't post like you, post like future you. I've made a huge shift in what I post in the last 3 or 4 months. If you follow me on social media at the time I'm making this, I decided that I have a lot of knowledge that I've started to learn, and I want to be seen more as an advisor. So what am I doing? I'm becoming an advisor. Maybe that's not you. By the way, it's okay if your brand is fun, then post fun. But just realize your social media and also the way you dress and the way you talk and who you socialize with, it's a billboard. You can never get upset that your billboard attracted exactly who you were advertising to. Let's talk a little bit about authority positioning. Authority comes from service. So serve better. For a lot of you this year, this is me. I want to serve better. This is a goal. Explain clearly, show up prepared, and you don't have to be the loudest, and you don't need to be the most like grounded. People follow certainty paired with humility. People follow certainty paired with humility. So have a service heart. Be near successful agents. I'm very, very fortunate, and I realize that I have something that most agents don't. I think almost every agent in our team, our group here with Real Broker here in Atlanta. Also, I say Atlanta, we span from Atlanta, Colorado, Alabama, maybe Mississippi now. Uh, but I'm very fortunate to be around a lot of successful people. Most everybody in our group is closing deals and closing transactions. So I'm blessed. I know a lot of people don't have that, but be near those people. If you don't have that in your office, come hang out with us. You're always welcome to come hang out and just be there. People will associate you with who you're with. If you want people to start to trust you, become trustworthy. If you want people to ask you for help, be helpful. Getting to the front of the room starts by being in the room. I, the best analogy I know for this is the real estate investor space. So many agents go, I want to work with investors, and then they never show up to that RIA meeting. And they wonder why people like me that they perceive had less experience is closing 20, 30, 40 deals, 10 of them for myself. It's like, because I'm in the room and I'm in the room every month. You can't just show up once. I'm consistently there. I'm always there, and I'm always learning, and I'm always growing. Now that's my space. Some spaces are different. If you want to be seen as the agent that works with business owners, why are you not at the Chamber of Commerce where the business owners gather? If you want to be seen as involved in community service, are you the agent that's donating to the football team or the marching band? Or where are you at? You got to get there. You got to get to the front of that room. So, the daily habits of a 20 deal agent. All right, 20 deals is not achieved in bursts, it's built daily. Lead generation has to have a block of time. Let me tell you, my sponsor and coach, mentor TJ, is really good at this. TJ he taught this to me. He's got a block of time every day, and that's what he does in that time is lead generation. All right. Then there's a block of time that's a follow-up block. Social media content block and weekly accountability, that's his identity. And there's an action loop. And he's crazy consistent and he has a great business to show for it. All right. You have to think about it. Small disciplines done consistently create extraordinary outcomes. You don't have to be the smartest. You can look at this mug. You don't have to be the prettiest. All right. You just have to be consistent and you have to do small things and do them consistently. So for a lot of you, we talk about who do you have to become consistent. You could do, if you're a new agent, I want to give you that one thing. Pick a lane and be consistent and block out the time. That right there is going to make someone this year get to their goal. All right, John Maxwell says it like this: you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. If you're not changing something you do daily, then you are not truly changing your life, friends. Because here's the loop again, identity drives action. Action reinforces your identity. That's the loop. So when you act like a professional long enough, you will become one. And that's how transformation happens. So Jim Rohn says it like this: discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. That's how we get there. Discipline bridges goals and accomplishment. So you have an identity worksheet if you are in our group, if you're a part of the Hive Live. If you don't have that, if you get with the agent that sent you here, or you can email me, Josh, Josh, at jrbdreamteam.com. I'll happily send it to you. I don't want any money. That's not what we do here. We believe that we just want to all get better and we're stronger when we work together and we're all going in the same direction. That's what our team does. Uh, but email me, I'll send it to you. I want you to take a second and think at some point about that identity or worksheet. The worksheet is going to ask you to write some things down about yourself. For example, on the worksheet, who are you becoming? You got to write this down, right? You can't become it if you don't write it down. And by the way, your answer and my answer may be completely different. All right. Can be completely different. Who are you becoming? What beliefs that you have must die? What is it? Remember that question I said, do you believe that you are worthy of success? Do you believe that success is for you? Do you believe that you can only do bad things? I want you to spend some time. That's getting deep, and that's not the purpose of what we're doing here, but it also is, and we have to get there. So, what beliefs, if you were honest with yourself, what beliefs do you have that it's time to put those beliefs in a box and bury them? All right, what standards must rise? What are the new things you're going to believe about yourself? What is the new day in your dream life? I want you to write those down. That worksheet's going to walk you through a process because clarity is going to remove hesitation and commitment creates momentum. So, 30 days of identity driven action. That's what I want to challenge you for. I want to challenge you to take 30 days for identity driven action. The challenge is not about perfection. You will fail during this 30 days. It's about proving to yourself that you can show up daily. And to help you with that, we've got a daily habits tracker. And there's a challenge on this. You're going to chart out your daily habits. And for 30 days, you're going to commit to doing it. No matter what, no matter how, 30 days, you're going to follow the plan. I want to challenge you to do the 30 days again. Whoever invited you here, ask them for the 30-day challenge or shoot me an email, josh at jrbdreamteam.com. I'll send it to you. We want everyone in the Hive to have it. All right. And to think about that for 30 days, whatever you committed to, now this was back at your identity shift, right? You said some things. You said there's some new standards that you're going to adopt. You said there's some actions for your new identity. Now we're going to write it in and we're going to do it for 30 days. And I want you to see how confidence builds production. Now, does that mean you're going to close a deal, two deals, three deals, 20 deals in the first 30 days? No. But the purpose of this is to see how you change as a person that propels you forward for the rest of the year. Maybe, just maybe, you become something that you didn't think that you could become. We believe that agents are stronger when we work together. That's what we believe. In the hive mind, we like to come together to share things. All right. We like to solve problems. We like to help each other grow. We like to talk about strategy and we like to support each other. That's what we do at the Hive. Uh, and it's free and it's for everyone because, again, we believe we're all stronger when we work together. So if you're a guest or you're watching this later on YouTube or one of the social media channels, ask the person that sent you this link how to get in touch with us. We would love to have you here because remember, isolation keeps agents small. And if you're in if you're a real estate agent and you're in that thing where you can't get to your broker unless your broker dawns you with his or her presence, it's not the way we work. Again, I never want to talk bad about someone else, but I don't want you to feel isolated. We believe that we're all stronger when we work together and that community can accelerate growth. Final thoughts. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not incapable. You are simply becoming. And that's a lifelong pursuit. I am becoming more today than I was becoming last year. And if I play these right, there's these cards right, next year I'm going to be becoming more than I am today. And once you decide you are becoming, 20 deals is not possible, it's inevitable. Become the agent that your future requires, and the results will follow. So we're going to finish up here now. We are headed into our next Q&A session and sort of hive mind chat session. We're going to get together and talk about problems and kind of break this down. So I know a lot of you are joining us here, that you're watching this right now on YouTube. If you're watching the after recording, again, would love to have you at the next one live and in person so that you can hop into the next section. And just thank you so much for being here and being a part of the Hive Live today. So God bless you and have a great year. Crush it.